You wake up, you scroll, you eat, you work, you scroll again, you sleep, then repeat. It's not that your life is bad, it's that deep down you know it could be so much more. And that silent voice inside, you the one you try to drown out with distractions, keeps whispering one thing: you are wasting your potential. Most people don't crash and burn, they coast. They live in neutral. Not miserable, but not alive either. And that, right there, is the quiet tragedy no one talks about. Because wasting your potential doesn't happen in one loud moment. It happens gradually, like a slow leak in a tire, until one day you look around and ask, how did I end up here? The painful truth is this: potential means nothing without action. Having talent, intelligence, creativity, it's not enough, because if you don't use it, you lose it. There's no award for what could have been. You don't get remembered for your intentions. You get remembered for your results. Look around you. There are people with half your talent doing twice as much. Why? Because they showed up, they tried, they failed, they learned, then they tried again. While you hesitated, they built. While you planned, they practiced. While you waited for motivation, they moved with discipline. Potential is like a bank account that expires. If you don't withdraw from it, you forfeit it. Think about all the things you've told yourself you'd do someday. Learn a language, start a business, get fit, travel, create, teach, build something that matters. But then, life happened. You got busy, tired, caught up in what was urgent but not important. You said you were waiting for the right time. But here's the kicker: the right time doesn't come. You make it or you miss it. No one is coming to save you from your comfort zone. No one is going to drag you out of bed, force you to work on your goals, or push you to be your best. That's your job. And the longer you avoid that responsibility, the more you betray the person you're capable of becoming. You weren't meant to drift. You weren't meant to settle. There's something in you that's raw, untapped, and powerful. But it won't come alive until you start doing hard things. It won't grow in ease. It grows in pressure. It's in sweat and uncertainty. The path to your potential isn't glamorous. It's early mornings, late nights, saying no to comfort and yes to purpose. Most people waste years running from their calling because it's uncomfortable. They fear failing in public. They fear not being good enough. So instead, they play it safe. They choose the familiar, even if it suffocates them. They shrink to fit in instead of rising to stand out. But every time you run from growth, you're choosing regret over potential. You're postponing the life you could have lived. Ask yourself, if someone followed you around for a week watching how you spent your time, would they be able to tell what your dreams are? Or would they just see a person surviving, not thriving? Would they see hours spent creating or hours spent scrolling? Would they see action or excuses? You don't need a perfect plan. You need commitment. You don't need motivation. You need movement. You don't need permission. You need to decide. You've been waiting for a sign? This is it, because no one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, now's the time to go all in. The world will keep you distracted if you let it. It will keep feeding you content, comfort, and reasons to procrastinate. But nothing changes until you do. Nothing improves until you demand more from yourself. You want more. Not more likes or more things, but more meaning, more purpose, more fulfillment. It doesn't come from escaping your reality. It comes from shaping it. It comes from doing the work you keep avoiding. It starts with being brutally honest with yourself. What are you doing right now that's keeping you small? What habits, routines, or people are draining your energy instead of fueling your potential? Be real about it, because awareness is the first step to freedom. You don't have to make a giant leap, but you do have to start. Start waking up earlier. Start showing up when it's hard. Start choosing progress over perfection. Start doing what you said you'd do even when you don't feel like it. Because discipline is what transforms potential into power. There are people who would kill for the opportunities you take for granted. The health, the access, the time. You might not have everything, but you have enough to begin. And that's what matters. Starting now, before it's too late. Because someday isn't a day on the calendar. Someday is the excuse of the procrastinator, the tool of the distracted, the deathbed regret of the person who waited instead of worked. You Dan T want to look back one day and realize you lived the same year 70 times and called it a life? You want to look back and know you used every ounce of who you were. You want to look back and feel proud. Potential is a gift, but it's also a burden. It comes with responsibility. You were given gifts, abilities, and ideas, not just for yourself, but to build something, help someone, leave something behind that matters. But if you bury it under comfort, it dies with you. The world needs what you have. But first, you have to believe it's worth the work. The truth is, life is short, much shorter than you think. You don't get a second draft. This isn't rehearsal. You're living the story you'll tell when it's all said and done. So ask yourself, are you writing a story of fear, hesitation, and wasted potential? Or are you writing a story of courage, action, and transformation? Every great story has a turning point. A moment when the hero stops running from who they were meant to be and finally steps into it. Maybe this is your turning point. Not because you're ready, but because you're done waiting, done settling, done sleeping on your potential. While others write their success stories in real time, this is your wake-up call, your line in the sand. The moment you stop just dreaming and start doing. You don't need more time, you need more urgency. You don't need perfect conditions. You need the courage to start despite the conditions. Because potential is not meant to be preserved. It's meant to be used, stretched, and spent in pursuit of something greater. One day, you'll either look back with pride or with pain. And the difference between those two futures is what you choose to do right now. So ask yourself, what's it going to be? Another day wasted, or the first day of the rest of your real life? The choice is yours. But the clock is ticking.